for you to reach your goals, you have to become more productive. But that doesn't mean that you have to work extra hours or hire a bunch of people or sacrifice even your hobbies, your family, and things that you love to be more productive in your business. And this is often the place where people kind of come to. They hit a roadblock in growth, reaching their goals because they are trying to be productive without doing that. And they're basing it off of, they're using a broken framework. It's a framework that they've learned throughout their life. And this is what I was doing. A couple ways that this works is a few things. Not saying no to things enough. Not saying, no, I can't do that as much. Trying to be all things to all people and do everything. The other one is responding to everything like it's an emergency immediately. No matter what comes in, you just jump and you respond like it's an emergency. And these two things, as soon as I started saying no more often to things, like just confidently, no. Not no with an explanation, no as a complete sentence. And then stopped responding to everything like it was an emergency, my productivity soared without having to hire more people, without having to drop clients. The quality of my work went up. And oftentimes this is rooted in being a people pleaser. Now, when we hear that phrase, I actually, weirdly enough, didn't know that it was a negative phrase. It was something I've been told my whole life until recently I realized, you know what? Because I'm constantly trying to please everybody and help everybody and do all this, I was sacrificing myself, my productivity, my goals, and my future on the altar of perfection and people approving of me because at least they are pleased with all that I was doing. And so everything in my life was based on the worry and fear that if I didn't perform perfectly, I wouldn't please people. This is oftentimes the root of why we're afraid to make mistakes. We're afraid to step out and do things when we don't have all the pieces together. We're afraid of a few things. Either maybe we're going to make such a big mistake that it's going to bring harm to us or other people. Sometimes that's valid, depending on if it's like a medical situation, right? Or that people are just going to judge us and not like us because something is not perfect. We have to get rid of this root, making our goal perfection, pleasing people, people saying that we are good, getting praise from other people, getting validation, our why for doing things, our why in life, our motivation, our inspiration for going after our goals has to be bigger than getting validated by other people and them telling us good job for what we did right. And this is often the root of people pleasing. We will actually say yes to things that we want to say no to when inside we don't want to do them because we don't want to upset anybody. And we believe that our performance is tied to our identity. Okay? And so we have to get rid of this root. And two of the quickest ways that you can do this: boundaries. Boundaries is one of the number one. Saying no and meaning it. Saying no when it's scary and you would normally feel guilty. Many times when you feel that guilt of saying no, that's the very moment when you should say no more often. As well, people model the energy that you put across. You show other people how to treat you and react to you by how you react and respond to them. So if everyone's coming to you with emergencies constantly, it's probably because you've trained and taught them by that people-pleasing nature and activity that this is how I work best. And so we have to shift out of this. We have to shift into a state of power, no longer doing things just to please other people. And this is where you have to have confidence in what's inside of you, knowing what path to go. By the way, this doesn't mean that you have certainty on the outcomes of everything. People pleasing says, if I don't know the certain outcome, I'm not going to do anything because I'm not going to please other people. And ultimately, we are not satisfied with ourselves. We're being self-critical of ourselves, not good enough, and trying to perform enough to feel worthy of the success that we're stepping into. And so for you to increase your productivity without working more, I'm telling you, working less hours, less stress, without needing to hire staff, without needing to neglect the things that you love, start to say no more often. Stop people pleasing and start to respond to things in your timing, not as an emergency all the time. Prioritize what is an emergency and what's not. Many times what we believe are emergencies are not emergencies, but we have lived our life in this pattern of hypervigilance for so long that we don't know the difference between a real emergency or not. This is where I was and how I was living my life and working. Was I productive? Yeah, but I was not happy. And now I'm more happy, more rested, not working as much, like 1/4, making more money, getting more clients, growing a business, helping more people, more clarity, more productivity. And it all stemmed from this one little thing. Now, oftentimes, this thing that I've talked about in this video is the very last thing. We're trying to find a strategy to avoid dealing with this issue because it's painful to dive deep and dig deep into this. But once you do, once you get this, everything starts to unfold and open up for you. So, grow your life, everybody. I'm excited to hear what you have to say on this topic. What have you experienced? Why do you respond to everything like it's an emergency? Why do you believe that you have to hire more staff, make more money, and can't say no to things more often? Why is this difficult? Many times when I'm coaching clients, these are the root issues that we identify that, they have 1,000 million reasons why they can't move forward, and it all comes down to this little root issue. And we find, okay, there's something here that once I change the belief I've been believing about what it means about myself and what's possible in my business and shift it, everything opens up for them. The productivity, the results, the revenue, all increases from that area. So grow your life, everybody, and we'll talk soon.